Hello, YouTube. We are live in our kitchen today. I'm excited to talk to you a little bit about what it's like for somebody who's had bariatric surgery 5+ years. So I'm over a decade post the vertical sleeve gastrectomy. So I had 90% of my stomach removed about 11 years ago. And what I've gotten very used to what I can and what I can't eat. And it's funny, going back and looking at some of my old vlogs and things like that. I remember like going, is this always going to be the same? Will my stomach stretch out? Does my sleeve stretch out? Will I be able to eat like a whole hamburger again? I'm just going to fast forward to the answer of that. And the answer is no. Like I cannot eat an entire hamburger. But I have been pretty successful to keep my weight off over a decade. I don't know how much you can see me here, but I am on a weight loss journey again right now. So if you've seen some of my other videos, I have been thinner than I am right now, but I'm in the low 190s. And I am going to be going back on a ketogenic diet because that works really, really well for me, especially because I don't have much of a stomach. I can still only hold about 2 to 3 ounces. So a ketogenic diet is high healthy fats, medium protein, and then very low carbs. So under, I'd say 30 carbs, 25 carbs, and being in ketosis works fantastic for my body if I want to drop weight quickly. When you have the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, they remove 90% of your stomach. So your intake is only about 2 to 3 ounces, depending on how small your surgeon makes your sleeve. They also take out the portion of the stomach that stimulates the brain for hunger. So you don't really feel actual physical hunger. You can feel weak and you can definitely have head hunger, which means you just want to eat, but you're not actually like feeling like I never feel that rumble in my stomach again, ever. I never felt that since I felt like hungry, but it's not, it's like a weak feeling or like that, like I want to eat, but I don't know what I want to eat, but I'm not like physically hungry, which is part of the reason why I got heavy and why I can sometimes put my weight back on, right? But like I find things you'll hear people in the bariatric community talk about slippery foods or foods that can slip through their sleeves, which is like liquids or ice creams, things that don't they're not fibrous, and like breads and stuff will stick. So if I eat a piece of bread, it'll go down my esophagus and it will sit in my stomach, and then foods will build up on top of it until the lower portion of the stomach empties into my and you'll feel emptying. I can't really put much more in there. And after I hit 2 to 3 ounces, then the esophagus starts to fill up and you get that like frothy, I'm going to throw up feeling. And even 11 years post bariatric surgery, I still throw up, especially if I go out to eat, because I am still impulsive and I do have, you know, they bring the bread basket out. I'm like, I want to eat a piece of bread. And then my husband or my mom or somebody will say, are you sure you want to eat that bread? Because you have food coming. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? You're right. Because if I eat the bread and then I drink some liquid, it expands in my stomach and we're done. If I eat a piece of meat, like 2 ounces of meat, I can't eat anything else. If I eat a salad, I can only eat I'd say a cup of salad and then I'm done. I could probably eat a cup of salad and drink a little bit of water, but usually I've definitely gotten in the habit of, if I'm thirsty, especially if I've been bad about drinking my water throughout the day, I'll drink water before I'll eat the meal, like as we're sitting there waiting, so that it has time to empty into my GI tract, and then I'll eat the food. But you know, when I go out to eat, I don't often order food. I will usually order sometimes like an appetizer. I love going to places that have small plates. That makes me feel a lot safer and not have a lot of anxiety around ordering. And like if I go out with my family, because I have 2 boys and a husband, very often I won't order any food. I'll just get a drink, and then I'll just eat whatever they didn't eat. I like when I cook dinner for the family, my husband will always ask, are you going to eat with us? And if I've cooked, very often I'm sampling as I'm cooking. So then by the time we sit down, it's been 2 or 3 ounces and I'm stuffed already. So I have to like warn people when we go out to eat if they don't know that I've had weight loss surgery. I always just say it, and it's more for my anxiety because I get a lot of anxiety around being out to eat because I don't want people to think, well, I don't want I don't want waiters and waitresses to think that I didn't like the food. That's like a people pleasing thing, which is so silly, but it's a thing. Um, and then there's something about like if you go out to eat with somebody and they're not eating, you feel like silly. Like, well, I guess I'm the only one eating because there's like community with eating. So when I go out with girlfriends, I mean, all my girlfriends know I've had weight loss surgery. I will still warn them and be like, "Hey, I'm going to get some food and I'm going to go slow, but please don't stress me out." Because I've had people go, "Why aren't you eating? You should eat that." Because there's sometimes some projection on what they're eating and what I'm eating. And so and I've been out with people where I've felt the pressure to eat, which I am really good about advocating for myself after 10 years, but I have felt it for whatever reason. And I am like, excuse me. And I have to run to the bathroom and throw up. And this is a decade post weight loss surgery. This still happens. I've had it up to 3-4 times a week still. And that's probably some of my compulsory behavior, which isn't healthy. So I am very, very successful, like I mentioned, on a ketogenic diet. So because I'm the most healthy when I do ketogenic. So we'll go into my refrigerator here. So things like avocados are really, really great. They're slippery. They go through the sleeve really easily. They're really healthy, high fats, and healthy fats, and they've got a good source of protein. So I live on avocados, and then I'll make it with I'll put avocado and I'll make it with a little bit of salsa, no sugar. And I like love that. And I'll eat that with, I can't eat that with celery because celery will fill it up. And I'll make that's a big trigger food for me to throw up. This. I love soft mozzarella cheese. It goes through my sleeve easily. It fills me up, but I don't throw up. One of my favorite things is to do balsamic vinegar. I love going to really nice, you can do oil tasting, vinegar tasting, and we'll buy really nice balsamic vinegars, really nice infused olive oils. Like I like good quality stuff because I can only have a little bit. And if you can't only eat just like a little bit of food, you want it to taste really good. So you feel like I ate something and I feel satisfied. And I got that little dopamine reward fix. So I love the caprese salad where I take that cheese. I'll put like fresh basil. At one point I was like growing my own basil here in my kitchen because I liked that flavor. And then a little tiny sliver of tomato, maybe 1 or 2. The more tomato I put in there though, that's fibrous, so it'll fill up my sleeve very, very, very quickly. And then a little balsamic vinegar and oil, and that mentally, and like a fresh piece of basil, I can live on that. That like for me is so, so yummy. Things like mashed potatoes, garlic mashed potatoes will slip through my sleeve, but that's not like a real healthy thing to eat because that's got a lot of carbs, especially the way I make them. They are fatty. If you need to gain weight, eat my mashed potatoes, fresh bacon, all that kind of stuff. But speaking of which, bacon, love bacon. My husband knows if I haven't been eating, he'll make bacon and I'll just kind of munch on it so that I get some calories. Because of my ADHD, I'll get very sidetracked or I'll get hyper-focused. And I'll go very often all day till 3:00 in the afternoon, not eating. And you would think, well, why aren't you thinner? Like, I'm fine, but like you would think as little as I eat, I would be thinner. And part of the problem is that I have almost no metabolism because sometimes I don't eat enough. So again, for me, ketogenic has been really, really great because I tend to actually actively lose weight because I'm feeding my body what it needs. So, like I said, 10 years post-op, really fibrous foods, no more than a cup. I would say more than a half a cup. Slippery foods, I can get sometimes down a cup and a half if I go slow. And then meats, like if I have beef, chicken, anything dry like that, 3 bites, which is probably about an ounce. If an ounce, I would say more like a half an ounce. And if I put anything on top of that in my sleeve, it'll trigger me to throw up. So, and again, drinking my liquids, then eating my foods, and then making sure I'm drinking my liquids all throughout the day, because I cannot eat food and then drink liquids. I have to wait at least 45 minutes to an hour to then get at least 8 ounces down. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a series of different tips and tricks and different things, what it's like being 10 years post-op, and what life looks like and how to keep the weight down. Everybody has different techniques, and I definitely think simple carbs is the way to put weight back on. So ketogenic for me, way to go. Talk to you later.